Uh, Good morning, colleagues. Uh, Today we are going to start looking at multimedia. So I want to see what multimedia is and why it is important to consider multimedia in terms of communicating. Okay, so that is what we are going to focus on. Yeah, so our focus is on multimedia. Now, if you look at the word multimedia, you can see that it is derived from the word multi and media. Okay, multi and media. That is where this is derived from. The multi implies many or multiple. Multi implies many or multiple. Where media, basically we are talking about the tools that are used basically to represent or do certain things. Or in short, you are basically talking about the delivery medium or a form of mass communication. This could be a newspaper, a magazine, a TV, and so on. Okay, that's the media. In short, we are basically talking about the tools, but the multi, it means many or multiple. So when you talk about the media, you could also refer to it as a distribution tool and information presentation such as text, graphics, video, image, music, and so on and so forth. So, in short, what you are saying is that multimedia is made out of two aspects where you have multi, it means many, and the multiple, same, but the media is an aspect of the tools that are used to communicate information. Again, we can add to say here your focus is to deliver information, to communicate effectively. Now, this aspect of communication we are saying is that instead of just communicating using one medium or one form of communication, you can use multiple forms in order for you to enhance your communication so that people can be able to understand your message clearly. Okay, definition. So I'm saying multimedia is a combination of text, graphics, sounds, animation, and video that is delivered interactively to the user by electronic or digitally manipulated means. Okay, that is multimedia, a combination of text, graphics, sound, animation, and video. Okay, so you combine all these aspects or these media to actually deliver your your content or your communication out there. Okay, so you could see just this diagram here. Um, this depict the multimedia itself. Okay, so you have the text, the audio, the animation, video, graphics. So these are basically the element of multimedia. These are elements of multimedia. So for you to define multimedia comprehensively, you need to actually state all these aspects. So by just drawing this diagram, you give a proper definition of what multimedia is. Now, let's look at characteristics. of multimedia. What are the characteristics? We're saying computer is an intrinsic part of multimedia system. It allows the user to interact with the media and thus manipulate it by controlling what is communicated and when. So what you are saying is that for you to create any multimedia content, okay, for you to create any multimedia content, you need a tool such as a computer. You need a computer. Okay, so a computer is basically a very important part of the multimedia system that you need. So different elements of multimedia are combined and integrated into a single multimedia system. Okay, so that's another characteristics, a combination of different elements, like we saw the text, the graphics, the audio, and so on. Okay, but not just one element. So the use of a computer in multimedia requires all elements of multimedia to be in digital form. Okay, so we talked about all those elements like the text, the graphics, the audio, animation, and so forth. So for you to use these elements, you have to ensure that they are in digital form, because you and I know that a computer is a digital device that manipulates data. So therefore, even these elements must be converted into a digital form. They must be converted in a digital form. So multimedia system is interactive. It must be able to give you that ability to interact. You must be able to interact with these elements. Okay, you, the user, must have control of what is showed to you at what time and when. Okay, so these are some of the characteristics that you find in multimedia. Okay, so let's look at the element of multimedia that we've talked about. Okay, so we have the first one, which is the text, which is text. So we are saying a broad term for something that contains words to express something. Okay, a broad term for something that contains words to express something. So this is the text. So a text is basically the most basic element of multimedia. By this we imply that a text must be there always when you are deriving a multimedia content. A text is a must. Okay, you can combine other elements and so on, but the text must be there. Now, as you make use of the text, what we are saying now, a good point to note is that a good choice of words could help convey the intended message to the users. Okay, so now we are talking about the choice of words. You don't just use text anyhow, but the choice of words and everything that you come up with must help you to convey the information to the user. Okay, so text is used in content, menus, navigation, and buttons. So when you are creating the content, you use text. When you are creating menus, you use text. Navigation buttons, and so on, text must be there. No wonder you're saying text is the basic element of multimedia. Here's an example for a road safety. Okay, we are saying you want to come up with a system, a multimedia system that provides information about road safety, how one can cross the road, and so on and so forth. So when you are applying the most basic element, which is text, so you're supposed to write it like this. Okay, so okay, first, before crossing the road, make sure you look to your left, to your right, and then left again. Then you walk carefully to cross the road. So you could visibly see that this text is very clear. Okay, so this text is very, very clear, such that um, anybody can read this. Anybody can read this. But now the question is, suppose somebody doesn't know how to read. Will they know what is required? No, they won't be able to do that. Suppose somebody doesn't, uh, uh, or in short, one cannot understand this if they can't read. Okay, so that's text. Now we have graphics, another element of multimedia. Graphics. So graphics, we have two-dimension figures or illustration, or what we call 2D. This graphics could be produced manually. Okay, could produce this manually by drawing, painting, or carving, or by computer graphics technology. So these are the ways you could do present, produce graphics. Okay. These are the ways you could produce graphics. Okay. Then used in multimedia to show more clearly what a particular information is all about. Okay, used in multimedia to show more clearly what a particular information is all about. So this is a good way, okay, also of representing the information. A good example again, if we want to express our the earlier example that we have been looking at, okay, where we said when you are trying to cross the road, you first look before you cross the road, you make sure you look to your left, to your right, and then left again. Now, at least for somebody who cannot read, there's some uh, graphics presented or provided there that will guide them to actually um, that will guide them uh, to actually understand what is being communicated. So in short, we are saying now we've added now text, we've added the text, okay, we've added the text as well as the graphics to communicate the same information. We've added the text and graphics to communicate the same information. Now, again, if somebody cannot be able to read and they are blind, how do you go about conveying the information to them? How do you go about conveying the information to them? Then you have audio. Okay, audio comes in. So audio is produced by vibration as perceived by the sense of hearing. Okay, so in multimedia, audio could come in the form of speech, sound effects, and also music scores. So you can produce your sound in terms of speech, like you can talk and then you record that. Then you digitize that kind of recording. So that is audio. That is the audio. Can produce by vibration as perceived by the sense of hearing. So now again you bring it here. So you're saying digital audio. Audio is basically analog in nature and is a continuous wave. Okay, so you know what it is when look at the continuous wave, we learn this. Okay, so a computer needed to transfer the analog sound waves into its digital representation consisting of discrete numbers. So a computer has to transfer the analog sound waves into its digital representation consisting of discrete numbers. So representation of a waveform in a digital way is made by an analog to digital converter. And then the reverse process is called digital to analog converter. So we're talking about ADC as well as the DAC. Okay. So a computer needs to transfer this information so that at least you are able to um, convert this aspect into a form that can be understood. So when you look at the audio, you need to talk about the sound hardware. Okay, the sound hardware, this involves the microphone and the speakers. These are the devices connected to the analog to digital converter as well as the digital to analog converter respectively. So you need sound hardware, okay, in order for you to integrate this to your multimedia system. Okay, then there's an aspect of sampling, sound sampling. This is a process that converts the analog signal into digital format. Okay, that's sound sampling. It converts a process to convert the analog signal into a digital format. Then you also have what we call sound digitization, which is the process of assigning a discrete value to each of the sampled values. You had you have this you assign discrete value to each of the values that you've sampled from your sound. So it is performed, of course, using analog to digital converter. Analog to digital converter. So recording at high sampling rate produces a more accurate capture of the high frequency content of the sound. Okay. Then beside that, we have what we call the music and the speech. So digital audio, this can be created or synthesized using the computer. That's the only way you can create a digital audio. So synthesized sounds are a set of instructions to the hardware audio device on how and when to produce sound. Okay, that's synthesized sound. It's basically a set of instructions to the hardware or audio device on how and when to produce sound. Okay, then we have musical instrument digital interface, MIDI. Um, this is a format. This format is the most widely used digital format for generating synthesized sounds. Okay, you've heard about MIDI. So whenever you want to create a sound that is basically produced using the computer, so you need this um, conversion in order for you to be able to come up with that clear sound that is needed. So again, in this case, in our example where we are giving out the instruction for somebody who want to cross the road, so we earlier added the text, and then added the graphics and the now we're going to add audio so that you are able to at least provide the same information to those that are unable to read, those that are unable to see. In this case, we're talking about the blind. We should have a provision for them also to be able to be catered for. Then we also have animation. Animation is basically the illusion of motion created by the consecutive display of images of static elements. That is the animation. Okay? It's the illusion of motion created by consecutive display of images of static elements. You have these elements, okay, which are static, but you create the illusion using certain software such that they appear like they are not um, they are not uh, static, but there are some actions taking place. So in multimedia, animation is used to further enhance or enrich the experience of the user to further understand the information conveyed to them. So here what we are saying is that you can still use animation to try and enhance the user's understanding of the information that is conveyed to them. Okay, so that is another element. So you've seen maybe in some cases where you visit the website and you find that on some elements on the website, you find that there's some kind of a blinking here and there. That is to enhance, to capture your attention and ensure that you visit that particular site or you do something about it. So this is basically another aspect of animation, another aspect of multimedia. So now, creation and usage of animation using the computer include processes like looping, morphing, and rendering. Okay. So when you are creating and you want to create and use animation on your computer, this will involve uh, processes like looping, you morph, and you render. So when you talk about looping, you are basically talking about the process of playing the animation continuously. Yeah? You keep on repeating the same animation or the same uh, uh, um, activity time and again. That is looping. Whereas when you talk about morphing, this one means the changing of a shape or the transformation of one image into another. So you can change the shape of a particular element and then it goes into another and vice versa like that. So that's the process of morphing. It is an aspect of animation. Then rendering is the process to create an image from a data file. You have a data file and you wish to create an image from it. And that is an aspect of rendering. So these um, um, are basically aspect of creating and using uh, animation. Of course, you have an example here where we are saying the popular software package used for animations are, you can use the 3D Studio Max. Okay, you can use this to create animation. You can also use Lightwave 3D. You can use also Adobe Photoshop. You could equally use Adobe Premiere or Animator Studio. Okay, so you can make use of can make use of these popular tools to create your animation. Now you could see also the same aspect we've been looking at. This also is being animated to further enhance the understanding of the instruction. Then you have video. Is the technology of capturing, recording, processing, transmitting, and reconstructing moving pictures. That is video. It is the technology of capturing, recording, processing, transmitting, and reconstructing moving pictures. So video is more toward photorealistic image sequence, live recording, as in comparison to animation. So this is photorealistic in a sense that you create this based on what is happening. Okay, based on what is happening. So video also takes a lot of storage. Video also takes a lot of storage. It takes a lot of storage space. That's why you are going to see to it that there's that aspect of video compression. We have to compress in order for us to reduce the size, okay, and then decompress to get it back to its normal size. Okay, so video compression, we're saying digital video files are extremely large files that takes a large amount of disk space and require high data transfer rate from the hard disk to screen. So they require high data transfer rate. So compression restructures the data to reduce the size of the file. Compression restructures the data to reduce the size of the file. So a compressed video file is decompressed when it is played using compression or decompression algorithms, or what we call the codec. So what we are saying is that the video normally occupies a large space. So now for you to actually even store it or transmit it, it requires a lot of bandwidth and so forth. So to avoid that, all you need is to basically compress it and then you transmit. Once the compression has been done, you can decompress it. You can decompress it. So codec may be asymmetric or symmetric, software based or hardware based, or both. Okay, the compression and the decompression algorithm. So here we are saying this can be asymmetric, symmetric, software based, hardware based, or simply both. Asymmetric codecs take almost the same time to compress and decompress. That's asymmetric. It takes almost the same time to compress as well as to decompress. That is a symmetric codec. While an asymmetric codec takes longer to encode the video than it takes to decode. And we've got good examples such as Microsoft Video One, SignPack, and Intel Video Raw are some of the window-based codecs. Then we also have what we call the motion JPEG, MPEG 1, MPEG 2. These are examples of the hardware-based codecs. These are hardware-based codecs. Interactive multimedia. So when the user is given the option of controlling the element of multimedia, then this one is known as interactive multimedia. When the user is given the option of controlling the element of multimedia, this is known as interactive. You as the user, you're in control, you are able to interact with it. Then we have what we call hypermedia. This happens to be the combination of hypertext, graphics, audio, video, and interactivity culminating in a complete non-linear computer-based experience. This is hypermedia. So we are basically talking about it being a combination of a linked element. Okay, linked element that are linked. Okay, so we have now this example, interactive multimedia, which now constitutes of almost everything. So you have this example, this one saying, hi, my name is Adam. Today we are going to learn about road safety. Okay, so we are here, then first step, second step, and so forth. So this is interactive. In which way? You cannot start learning until you press on start button. So when you create a multimedia like this, then it becomes interactive, meaning the user is able to interact with this. We have linear versus non-linear multimedia. So a multimedia project is identified as linear when it is not interactive. Okay. User have no control over the content that is being showed to them. You cannot do anything about the content. Yours is to sit and watch. Example, for instance, if you have a video like this, okay, you find that you are just there watching. You are just there watching, but nothing will happen. You cannot control it. Or you could have a non-interactive lecture, such as demo show and so on. So that is linear. It is not interactive. You as a user have got no control over the content. However, when it is non-linear, we are saying it is interactive. Now you as a user, you have control over the content that is being showed to you. And you are also given the navigational control. Okay. So example, we have the games, the courseware, the interactive CD. So when you are playing the game here, you are basically seeing that this is interactive. You can pause, you can do whatever you want with it without any problem. Then authoring tools used to merge multimedia element, text, audio, graphics, animation, video into a project. Okay, so these are authoring tools. Authoring tools are used to merge these elements into a project. So they're designed to manage individual multimedia elements and to provide user interaction if required. Those are authoring tools. We have examples such as Micromedia Author or Authorware, Micromedia Director, Micromedia Flash, Micromedia PowerPoint, and Microsoft PowerPoint, and so on. So these are tools that you could use to author your device, your multimedia project. Features of the multimedia system. It's very high. It requires high processing power. In short, we are talking about more than 1 gigahertz of processing speed. Even more high processing power is required for you to consider something as a multimedia. Besides the processing power, we're talking about the storage, large storage units, 50 GB or more, and large memory, 1 GB or more. 1 GB or more. So multimedia capable file system to deliver real-time media, e.g. video, audio streaming, and so on. Okay, capable files. So file format that allows for compression, decompression in real time. So this is required. Then efficient and fast input output to allow for real-time recording and playback of data. So that's another feature. It also requires special operating systems that support direct transfer to disk, real-time scheduling, fast interrupt processing, and input-output streaming. Also, the network support for internet, then software tools to handle and deliver media, and design and develop application. So these are some of the features. Key here are the high processing power, the large storage capacity, the file format, okay, file format, and so on. Okay, importance of multimedia. Multimedia, there are a number of fields where multimedia could be of use. Okay, example I was talking about in business, in education, entertainment, homes, and the public places. So these are the various fields where multimedia could be of use. So when you talk about business, for instance, you could use applications such as the sales, marketing presentations. You can use multimedia for trade show production, such as when you want to present a trade fair and so forth. You can come up with a multimedia content which you can be able to use and present. Okay, then you can use it for staff training and application, as well as what we call the campaign kiosk. Okay, where you just have a kiosk for information providing. Okay, you just want to provide information to your audience. In entertainment, you can use it in games, leisure. Okay, or this leisure or games can be educational or what. Then you can do movies. Okay, also what we call video on demand and so on. So entertainment is also catered by multimedia. In education, we have courseware. You can come up with a simulation, as in this course, okay, where you want to simulate the operation of something based on multimedia. Here in this course, we're able to simulate the road safety application, and you can do more actually to educate people in that regard. E-learning, distance learning, you can come up with the application to actually provide good services for that. Then information searching, that can also be another way of using multimedia in education. You can use it at home. We have smart televisions, we have satellite TVs like DSTVs and so forth. All those are good examples of multimedia use at home. You can chat, you can vote online and do everything. In public places, we talked about information kiosk, where you just go and get information from a kiosk, which is more of an like a teller machine. just like that. But in this case, you are not able to get the money out of it, but just information about a particular company, about a particular business, and so on. Can also use it in smart cards and security in public places. Okay, then multimedia products. Multimedia product. We've got 6 main multimedia products, or products that are developed as a result of multimedia. We have what we call the briefing product, okay, briefing product, reference products, database products, education and training products, kiosk, entertainment, and games. Entertainment and games. So when you talk about briefing products, we are saying these are small, they are straightforward, they are linear products used to present information quickly and concisely. Okay, these are small, straightforward, linear products used to present information quickly and concisely. Characteristics of a briefing product, we are saying these are short, they take a short development cycle, limited number of presentations, you don't present them often, use text to present information with limited use of graphics, audio, and video. So these are briefing products, okay? They have few navigation controls, okay, and content and format are suitable for the audience and fulfill the purpose of the presentation. So we're basically coming up with a product to deliver your thought to the audience, okay, to provide a briefing, okay. So that's the briefing product. Good briefing presentation depends on it, the understanding of the presented subject, okay, meaning you as a presenter must be able to understand the subject that you are presenting on, okay. Then you seamlessly integrate the content so that even as you project your briefing, the people should be able to look at how you present your work, how organized it is, and so on. Then the layout should be consistent, okay, throughout, in a way that even as you do your presentation, you present your layout based on how your thought is going to flow, okay. So a good example you have is when you are trying to deliver a corporate presentation for the business, or maybe sales presentation, or basically just an education lecture. So these are briefing products. Then you have what we call the reference product. Reference product, often these are used for answering specific questions or for general browsing of information. You are basically making a reference, okay. You are basically making a reference to something. So these are briefing products. Characteristics of reference product, you are talking about the used by wide range of users. This could be small or even adult. Have navigation menu, bookmarking, searching, printing, and the utility. Okay, so those are the characteristics. They have navigation menus. The basic classes of reference product are what we call generalized content, where you have a good example such as a dictionary or encyclopedia. Okay, these are used for broad treatment of content at a limited depth. Then you also have what we call detailed content. This one focus on specific area and provide extensive information. So two basic classes of reference product, generalized as well as detailed. So good usability and success depend on the developers understanding the body of information and how the end user will want to access it. Okay. So you as a developer should be able to understand the information that you want to gather, as well as how your intended audience will want to access it. Okay. So it help function should always be available to explain how to access and use the information. Help success function should be there. Examples are, we have Wikipedia, we have dictionaries, cookbooks, um, historical, informative, and the scientific surveys. So these are good examples of reference products. So we have that encyclopedia there. You could have an idea about what this is. And then we have what we call database products, similar to reference products in a sense that a large amount of informations are made available to the end user. Okay, so you are trying to provide quite a lot of information to the would-be users of your information. Now, the only difference is that this one focuses on storing and accessing the actual data. Okay, you focusing on accessing the actual data, which is basic multimedia element that we discussed. So characteristics of database products they manage multimedia data. In short, we're talking about large data files are managed. They are descriptive in nature. Okay, they use a descriptive finding method. Okay, for searching the content. Okay, for the content of multimedia. They can be accessed simultaneously, okay, by users, okay, without any problem, and they are consistent with the aspect of data management. So that's an example. We have a database product such as Google Search, even Google Earth is a very good example of um, a database product. Then you have education and training product. These are similar to text or training manual, but I've added some media such as audio, animation, and the video. Okay. They make up a significant share of multimedia market, ranging from pre-kindergarten to postgraduate, offering from technical to corporate training. Okay, so two categories of these products include instructor support product, standalone or self-paced product, combination or a combination product, where you come up with these products to provide learning to the audience. Like we saw earlier on, this may basically plays a critical role in terms of e-learning. Okay, so I have these examples there: polymer characteristics, simplifying algebraic expressions. So these can be used as examples of uh, training product to train people basically who are not on campus. Then we have a kiosk product, a product which is usually stationed at public places and allows the user to find information interactively and also other types of transaction. Okay, that is kiosk product. It is basically stationed at the public places, and you can use it to find information. It has the following three characteristics. They are limited target users and usage, because there are only specific people that are interested in using that product, who actually come to use the product. It is user friendly and can easily be used by the intended audience. Um, Again, the response is expected to be fast. That's the kiosk product. We have categories. One of the category is what we call the point of information. This one is used to provide certain information. Okay, example, we have the map, the timetable, etc. in some universities. We also have what you call the point of sales system. This one allows users to purchase or make orders. Okay, so these are kiosk products. Okay, then we have instant photo booth, banking kiosk for depositing money and so forth. Also, we have university information kiosk to get to provide information about what is happening in the university. Then beside that, we also have entertainment and games. This is most popular, shaped in form of interactive CD or DVD, and the following the characteristics. It is immersive, requires constant feedback and interaction with the user. Okay, challenging and sometimes intriguing. It enables online play for more than one user experience. So these are basically used for entertainment. Okay. In addition to that, we have what we call the VR, or just virtual reality. Virtual reality. Virtual reality is a special environment that is created using multimedia. Okay, you create this using multimedia. You create this first environment. So now the users feel as if they are in a three-dimensional world. Okay, you make your users feel like they are in a particular uh, environment where in real time they are not. Okay, so what you are saying, it gives the feeling to the user as if they are participating in a scenario. Some examples of VR applications are experimental gesture technology, may have military applications, can actually have somebody who is training as a pilot. Maybe instead of being trained on a real pilot, you can actually simulate the whole process using the virtual reality. Okay, you come up through military applications, and then you have this virtual reality in terms of how you provide that kind of training. In medicine, anxiety disorders and pain reduction, you can also be considered in terms of virtual reality, where if you have certain disorders or pain, you can be subjected to VR, and from there, um, the the pain can be reduced. Education and training, we can use like anatomy, history, military training, and so on, where you provide certain examples like you are studying a real human body, for instance, but in fact, that on the ground is not basically reality, but you feel like you are experimenting based on a real human being, or you are training based on the real training environment and so on. You can also use it in real market estate marketing and tourism, where you do your virtual walkthrough. Okay, virtual walkthrough for real estate marketing and tourism. Okay, so this can help in terms of um, 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 preventing people from traveling long distances in order for them to view whatever you are advertising, or to view your um your tourist site. Okay, so this is an example of which some of you might have come across, might have actually played these VR games. I guess this marks the end of this unit on multimedia systems.